My delicious goo. Hello all of you beautiful little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format, and I can say that now because of... Where are the crown jewels of WhatCulture.com? Take a list chosen by you, yes, you, the person who should really have put a cat lint roller over my jumper because I am covered in fur. Cats are great, aren't they? Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have none other to thank them. Grinch Forest. What a name. Grinch Forest, thank you very much for your suggestion of 10 useless video game items that you can't sell, drop, or get rid of. Now, I've done my YouTube trickery on this one a little bit because I have included some items that you could potentially trade away, but for all intents and purposes, well, they lack intents and purposes because they're 100% useless. But before we start today's list, there is some big news, some big, banterous, bountiful news, and that is the fact that the one and only James Dowles is back off of his weird hiatus. I don't know if it was a holiday, I don't know if he was in prison, I don't know if he was literally fleeing the country because he'd murdered someone. James, any comment?
No.
But he's back, yay! So with this in mind, let's get on with it, shall we? As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video game items that are 100% useless. And you know the drill by now. Say hi to me here in the live chat and put your suggestions for next week's episode down in the comment section below. But with that in mind, let's get on with the list, shall we? Number 8, The Cure for Moogle, Final Fantasy Adventure. God bless the humble Moogle. Despite competing with the likes of the Chocobo, the Cactuar, and the adorable deadly Tomberry, the Moogle is by far and away the cutest thing ever to exist in the Final Fantasy universe. Yet, despite all of their cutesy aesthetics, the life of a Moogle apparently isn't always sunshine and rainbow rhythms, my friend. For, in the Game Boy title Final Fantasy Adventure, not only is becoming a Moogle considered a curse, but it's also one that you can't even cure with items designed specifically to remedy it. Now, I know that there are many different things that you could be turned into that would be, well, much worse than being a cutesy little Moogle, like a plant pot or David Spade, for example, but at the same time, having your combat effectiveness reduced to that's hilarious levels, it's not going to do anyone any good. So, of course, you're going to try and use items to cure this, and wouldn't you know it, you get just such a thing, the Moogle Potion Revulsion. It's just called Moogle in the game, but it's clearly a potion. Quaff that down, yeah. Let's see you fix it. Oh, wait, you can't, because you got Moogle hands. Stupid bastard Moogle hands, and you can't even do it to yourself. You can't even get somebody else to heal you eitherwards, so it is completely and utterly pointless. Technically, it could cure you, but you are too stupid to figure out how to do that. You're adorable, but you're an idiot. God, it feels like I'm just talking to myself in a mirror then. Number 7, the voice box, Unreal. Now, in the world of the Unreal games, you have to think fast or you're gonna die faster. Side note, that should be a tag for a movie. It's my phone, I wasn't even recording there. Could have easily just been recording into the kazoo. Side note, this should be a movie tagline. Anyway, right. Now, in the heat of battle, every precious second spent not planning your next move might as well be spent digging your own grave, as the speed with which other players can appear and turn your face into preserve is shocking to say the least. Therefore, in order to stay rooted to terra firma, you'll have to utilize all the tricks and traps the game offers you, which makes the voice box item seem like a real trump card for your arsenal, as the game's description lists this as an item that can distract enemies, allowing you to get the drop on them. Yet unfortunately, this aforementioned trump card becomes a bit of a, well, brown note, because the thing is that the item works as intended in the sense that it makes a lot of noise. It kind of sounds like a cat trapped in a washing machine. Don't try that at home. But it unfortunately has the ability to, not affect any enemy in the single player game, because they forgot to program them to do that. This means it's pretty much only you that will be affected by this screeching, which will likely become the soundtrack to your death as the enemies just look at the device, look at you, and then unload everything they have. Now, in truth, this item does have some uses in the multiplayer offering, but still, when it comes to the single player, 100% useless. Number 6, the Chainsaw Maniac Mansion. Now, Maniac Mansion is a game that is so tongue-in-cheek that it's licked a hole all the way through and is starting to slobber on somebody nearby. In short, it doesn't take itself very seriously. It plays on genre tropes and B-movie schlock to get across its absurdist sci-fi story and thus makes for an incredibly enjoyable and often hilarious experience. And, of course, some of that comedy and entertainment comes from taking what the player expects of such a game and then flipping it on its bloody head, which is where the chainsaw comes in. Now, in a game in which you're trapped in a creepy mansion with all sorts of strange things going on, you might hope to equip your team with a weapon or two. Now, a regular spork isn't exactly going to cut it here, so we're looking for something with a little more give. And by give, I mean tear anything at the pointy end in two. So obviously, when you come across a chainsaw, your heart might skip a beat, as this is well known to be the perfect weapon for horror. But there's just one problem. It's out of gasoline. I know you probably think to yourself, oh well, I'll hold on to it for later because I'm sure to come across some fuel in this game, right? Right? Why are you all looking like that? Is there there's no gasoline in this game, is there? Fantastic. And what's that? They make a joke about this in the second game by having you find gasoline but nothing to use it on. So yes, the chainsaw just sits there in your inventory, a tantalizing but never to be used item that is less rip and tear and more RIP and tears. That joke's funny on two levels, especially when you look at the written version. Number 5, Tearfing. Turfing? However you want to pronounce it, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now, Castlevania Symphony of the Night is well regarded as being one of the best games, and say it with me, kids, of all time! Because, not aesthetically, it's utterly stunning. The soundtrack is drop dead amazing, and of course, the gameplay, well, boy howdy, that is like liquid butter, and pass me the funnel, because I'm drinking it down. However, this heady mixture may indeed get you thinking that the game is perfect, which I'm sorry to say that it's actually not. It's like 99% perfect, but it is let down in a few areas, and one of which is very strange indeed. Enter the turfing, or tearfing, however you want to pronounce it. I ain't gonna judge you, my friend. A weapon that sounds excellent on paper in that it possesses both the cut and dark buffs, meaning that the enemies have to be immune to both in order to avoid taking damage from this sword. And seeing as only one enemy that appears in the Saturn version of the game has this combo, it seems like a great tool for banishing the evil in your way. However, there is also a pretty significant drawback, which comes in the form of the weapon applying -30 to your attack power, which is basically the same as strapping pillows to the blade and giving all of your foes mattresses for armor. So what you have is a weapon that could be great, has the potential for greatness, but is let down by the fact that it just absolutely sucks. Fantastic, great. So we've just got another sword that's just being lugged around in our backpack that is completely useless. There are obviously some people out there that will make a build specifically to use this weapon just because they can, but just because they can does not mean that they should. For the rest of us, it's useless. Number 4, X-Ray Vision Superman 64. Now, I could have easily have just said that the cartridge that houses Superman 64, a game that was melded onto this planet through unholy communion, is the 100% useless item because it is so ungodly broken that it is actually comedic. I mean, seriously, the programming code looks like Swiss cheese, but somehow there is actually something even more broken within this game. And this game is a pissy skip fire. And this dubious honor goes to the X-Ray Vision power-up that proves how much of a lead balloon this entire game is, because Superman cannot see through shit with this power-up. And despite the power-up being an item that you can find in just one level, the designers, who were clearly very busy making papier-mâché molds of their own asses, didn't program the item to actually work. And what makes this all the more comedic is the fact that because the camera basically goes into business for itself and the textures are ghostly sometimes, you'll be popping through all of the walls anyway. It's almost like you don't even need the X-ray power. You can already see through walls because the game is programmed like utter shit. It's a testament to sin itself that this game even exists, and seeing as that you'll all have likely shaved about 10 years off your life just trying to get through the opening sections of the game, delirium may well have set in by the time that you come across this useless item, and so you'll be laughing your way right into a straitjacket. Number 3, the Magic Gourd, Secret of Evermore. Now, if you're a fan of Square Enix's Secret of Mana series, then I urge you to check out Square's lesser known but equally charming Secret of Evermore, which alongside cribbing its very name from the the Mana series also swipes a lot of its graphical style and combat system for good measure. However, it seems that during the copy-pasting that was going on here, some information was missed, namely the information on what the hell the magic gourd item does, because you can't find hint of it in the code, and not even the game designers know what it does. Seriously. You see, the magic gourd is something of a mystery, not just to those who pick up the item and can't find how to use the bloody thing, but also the actual game designers who have no recollection of what this charm was originally meant to do. And while you can trade this item for a chocobo egg in the game, the actual effect of this charm has been lost to time immemorial because none of the code offers up insight, and therefore it quite literally just takes up space in your inventory. Number 2, all of the fishing equipment. Path of Exile. Now, if you were to look over the full item list for Path of Exile, side note, don't do this because this game is huge, you may think to yourself, oh boy, I can't wait to get fishing in this game because there are so many items that give massive boosts to fishing. Woo! I love fishing a lot. The name's Gil for a reason. Love fish. But yes, you might get very excited and start preparing your lines and fiddling with your tackle. Different tackle, get your mind out of the gutter. However, before you get changed into your bucket hat and fashionable waders, there's something to consider. Hello, yes, game designers of Path of Exile. What's that? There's no fishing in your game. No, I'm just wetting my mouth so I can yell at you louder. Yes, this is literally just a joke by the devs that for some reason extended it to a ton of items in the game, many of which boast huge boosts to a minigame that unfortunately never was. And trust me, I really wanted that 500% extra chance of nabbing a mullet. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to settle for TikTok influencers. Why do they love mullets so much? I mean, I have no hair, so I can't judge, but seriously? Now credit to the devs for really going ham on this fish joke, and for the fact that you can quite literally say that these useless items got people believing hook, line, and sinker. And number 1, the Moon Ball. Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. So here's the thing, in the world of Pokemon, despite all of the marketing that paints it all as you building a deep connection with your little critters and those around you, it's not really about that. Unfortunately, it comes down to, of what use are you to me? I know that the tone of the game might suggest it's all carefree battling and comfy shorts, but the underlying message that's not so easy to wear is that your roster of pocket monsters is just going to come down to who is the most useful for any given situation over pure sentiment. I mean, just look at those poor Pokepals that end up being turned into HM banks, just called out by their owner to cut trees and push rocks before heading back into the cold isolation of their Pokeball prisons. Therefore, if you're an item in the Pokemon games that is useless, well, fans are not going to be quick to forget about it. They are, let's just say, a passionate bunch. Take, for example, the Moon Ball from Pokemon Gold/Silver/Crystal, which states that it has an increased capture rate for any critter that evolves with a Moonstone. Now, this is already a pretty niche thing because not many creatures evolve in this way, but the developers then went and dropped an utter clanger by balking the programming and making it so that it actually boosts the capture rate for Pokemon that evolve with a Burn Heal. Now, I know that you'll probably be searching through the logs as to which Pokemon evolve this way, but I'll save you some time. The answer is none. So you've got a fringe useful concept, but delivered through the lens of absolute error. So what are we actually left with at the end of things then? An overpriced Pokeball with a regular capture rate. Oh boy, I tell you what friends, if you want to see a Moon Ball, well I'll bend over so you can see my pale. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video game items that were absolutely 100% useless. I hope that you enjoyed that, and say thank you to James, who is back and has edited this video. You can follow him here at James Dowsey, and you can follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ. Actually, no, screw that. I don't want to advertise Twitter at the moment. Go over to Instagram at least and follow me there. Same handle, RetroJ is a 0. Go follow me there. You can check out all my Warhammer painting stuff, and I've got some new stuff that's coming as well. So yeah, keep your peepers peeled. I'm trying to do that. I ended up poking myself in the eye. Fantastic. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Even though we have detailed today a lot of useless items, you, my friend, listening to this video are anything but. You have use, you have purpose, you have a drive and desire to exist on this world because you deserve love, happiness, and success, my friend, all right? And even though sometimes we can be very hard on ourselves and feel very down, remember, you're not alone. You got friends, family, professionals in the support industry, people who care about you and want you to do well. And I want nothing but the best for you, my friend. So go out there and absolutely smash it. big love to you. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.